Hello everybody, it is I, Cool, back again, and today I'm going to be reviewing Glow Racer's Jackson Storm, a very anticipated item due to the fact that it's a Jackson Storm variant, and he didn't get released until, late 2024? It's so weird to think about the fact that Jackson Storm got released after Will Rush in this EU line. Just a very strange choice all around. It really stinks that the diecast didn't come out sooner. It was supposed to, but it didn't. But he looks really cool. I think most of the time was dedicated to making sure his paint was just right, which makes sense. Jackson is a very hard to get right character, especially with this color scheme. A lot of the Glow Racers come in waves depending on what color they are, which I think is a solid concept, right? You know, a lot of the early ones were yellow glowing cars. There were a few green glowing ones. There was one orange one. And now there's Jackson. So I think because of how the glow-in-the-dark paint works, it takes longer for them to make certain items. So I guess that makes sense as to why Jackson took so long. But it really does stink because Jackson, was such a significant character. But oh well. Over here on the back, we can see all the info. We got Ryan, the orange one, McQueen, Ramon, who I didn't see at the store. I only saw Jackson. I only picked him up because Glow Racer Jackson is, rare. My stores did not get him, so it was only until recently I was able to find him. Chase. Anyways, over here, glow-in-the-dark feature will last longer if you do not expose this product to intense heat or direct sunlight for prolonged periods of time. Alright, makes sense. Product produced in Thailand. Where's the copyright date on this? I don't see it. Weird. Yeah, very strange. Very strange. It's a product code. I think this is the last Glow Racer I'm going to be buying for a while. I don't really care too much about this line anymore. Maybe I'll trade to get McQueen and Cruz. I don't know. But yeah, for the most part, I'm done with Glow Racers. I just think it's over. Maybe I'll get Dan Garcia. He is a pretty interesting one. But yeah. Anyways, going to open Jackson Storm and give him a quick look-see. Okay, out of the box, Jackson looks pretty good, I'd say. He looks pretty clean, pretty slick. I like his facial expression. A lot of the modern Jackson Storm variants recently have been using the same expression as the one on the Racing Red variant. Sort of low-down, slide-looking expression. I believe GRC Storm also uses this. No, he does use it, because, every Jackson Storm after that one just kind of used that expression. I think that's a good choice. I think this is a much better face for Jackson. Here he is, just comparing to a normal Jackson. This is my old China one. I don't know if I'm going to get rid of my old China one because, I have the Thailand one now, which I think looks nicer, but I don't know. Might keep it for sentimental purposes. The main reason I was excited for this Storm is because I always thought the regular Jackson Storm looked kind of off. I feel like he didn't look dark enough, but this Jackson is literally just black and blue, which I think looks way nicer. It looks a lot more like what I imagined Jackson to look like. This is more accurate to the movie. I just think the contrast between the blue and black isn't really there. His decals really pop in the movie. Kind of glow, even. Hence why I bought the Glow Racer version. That's the only other reason I bought this Jackson. Otherwise, I don't think I would have bought it. It's just another Jackson Storm. I don't really care enough about Jackson Storm as a character. I don't care about Jackson enough as a character to get that many variants of him. I'll get one or two. I might get the NASCAR one, but this one is this is it. This is one of the last Jacksons. I really don't care about Jackson's variants. My friend Ty made a very astute opinion, or not opinion, but observation that Jackson just doesn't change a lot. And I'm inclined to agree. Just in general, Jackson Storm's just kind of boring. Okay, looking at Jackson by himself, he has the Piston Cup Champion sticker. I find it so funny that they make sure to include this sticker on every other version of Jackson they release after Cars 3. But they've never made a regular version of this guy, and that's just insanely funny to me. I guess this is a good stand-in for Champion Jackson Storm if you really need something like that. It looks similar enough to Jackson, kinda. Okay, not really, but yeah. I mean, you don't really have any other options. What, Fireball Beach Racer? What a joke. Our secondary sponsors, they look a little worse on this one. They definitely look really crinkled. Very strange. Really like how the S looks. I've heard a lot of people compare this Jackson Storm to something from Tron, and I'm like, yeah, this is like peak glow in the dark. Like, these guys, from a distance, they don't look glow in the dark. They just kind of look like the regular versions, but you made them really bright. Now, Jackson, you look at this, and I feel like you can tell that this guy glows in the dark. I think it's because it's a more, like, common glow in the dark color, which is blue. Like, I feel like yellow is a very odd choice, and it doesn't like signify anything. I don't think a yellow anything glowing, at least not glow in the dark. Right, glow in the dark is more night colors. Anyways, I like that his front bumper is blue. I like that his hood is blue. Just looks pretty cool. Got the huge igniter liquid adrenaline. That's actually different than on the regular Jackson Storm. Usually it's just tucked away in the corner here, but no, it's a full on here. And they actually made the entire back bumper blue. They went all out on this Jackson. It's like really cool. They didn't need to, but they did, and it's really sick. Oh, yo, there's the little arrow thing. He needs to lift the thing. That's where the pit crew lifts the thing. You know, they were supposed to make Ray Reverham, but they canceled it, which is really sad because his regular diecast is like $100. So you can't even get a stand-in because they won't make one. And it really stinks, you know? It really stinks. Anyways, time for a little magic. Wait, no. Okay, no, my camera can't record the racers glowing. I'm really sorry about that. I'll try to like edit in some pictures later, but yeah, Jackson glows pretty good. You just can't see it. I'm sorry about that. Not as good as Will and Mater, although that could be because I left him in the sunlight against the advisory of the you know, the box. Let me try one more time. Let me do a comparison. Yeah, no, he's glowing dimmer. I should not have left him out in the sunlight. When I take pictures, I'm going to charge him just with a regular LED light instead. Hopefully that helps bring him back to normal. But yeah, overall, Jackson Storm, pretty good. Very happy I got him. Just because, like, he's so expensive online. Well, no, I haven't checked if he's expensive online. But he's hard to find. So the fact that I was able to find him is really nice. I'm really happy to have a new item. You know, like, all the items that have been out recently have just been re-releases of other things. And it's like, it's cool to have something a bit more fresh in my collection, you know? Anyways, that's all I have to say on Jackson. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I shall see you all around. Bye-bye!